Hey folks, it's Michael from BetterMixing.com, and in this video I'm gonna take a look at the plugin bundle from Toneboosters, which has been released a few days ago in its third version. The bundle consists of 12 different plugins. You get a bus compressor, the TB Fix, which is a dynamic equalizer, the Real Bus plugin, which is a tape simulation, a loudness meter, a Brickwell Limiter. Then you'll get Time Machine, which is kind of a weird effect. We're going to get to that later. You'll get an Equalizer, Ison, which is a virtual monitoring setup that you can compare to the VRM box from Focusrite. And then you get a de-esser, a gate, a reverb, and a compressor. So a lot of plugins we're going to cover in this video. So let's get started without any further pre-talk. The first thing I want to show you is the compressor. So when you open it up, you see that you got the usual controls. You have the attack, the release, you have makeup gain, ratio, and threshold. Then you have the range, which is a maximum attenuation control of the compressor, and you have a wet button that is made for New York style parallel compression, so you can easily dial in parallel compression if you want to. And you have the sidechain high pass filter. You have 4 different algorithms on this compressor: vintage punchy, modern punchy, smooth rider, pump and breath. So just try what you like most. I like the smooth rider so far, so I'm gonna leave it that way. First I'm gonna show you how it sounds on a bass guitar. I'm gonna deactivate it first and play you the bass guitar as it sounds without the compression. So we have a pretty good, pretty consistent bass guitar, and now we're gonna put the compressor on and listen to it again. So it works pretty good on my bass. The bass is a little more solid, a little more consistent, and just has a little more presence. What I also used on the bass guitar is the Equalizer from the new plugin bundle that offers you 6 different bands. Each one can be selected here. Here, that's the wrong one. Here. So you have low cut, low shelf, digital bell, analog bell, high shelf, high cut, low cut and gain, high cut and gain, and a lot of other options. So if you're interested in the details, check out the manual at the website of the manufacturer. What I did was I did a low shelf boost of 2.6 dB at 160 Hertz, and then I cut out a little bit at 500, and I boosted a little bit the highs at 2.8 kilohertz with a high shelf. Let's listen to the bass again without the equalizer, and then we're going to turn the equalizer on. Okay, so the equalizer does its job pretty well. So I made just some small changes, but the bass guitar sounds better, it fits better, and in my opinion has a more presence, has a little bit more body. So it's a good equalizer. This equalizer also has a spectrum analyzer, so you can turn it on here. You can decide which mode you want to use. I'm going to take this one here, and it shows you the spectrum of the material that you're working on. Okay, so I'm not a fan of these spectrum analyzers because I think it's better to mix with your ears instead with your eyes. But if you're new to mixing and you want to see what the frequency of specific instruments are, or are searching maybe a ring in the snare or in the drums that really bothers you, this might be a good thing. And I'm gonna turn it off, but if you need it, it's here. So again, they did think about everything. So the equalizer is good on bass guitar. I also tried it on an acoustic guitar. We're gonna take a look at this here. Okay, so the compression setting on the acoustic guitar is the same I would use on a SSL console normally, with the sole exception of the attack, because that's auto attack, and the release is the same I would use. Yeah. Then the ratio, the threshold, and on the equalizer, I did all the things I do normally on such kind of a guitar when I'm working on the analog console. So let's take a listen to the guitar first, without the plugin activated. So that's a pretty good recorded guitar. Now we're going to activate the compressor and the equalizer. I'm going to listen to it again. So it sounds more defined. The acoustic guitar has a little bit more snap. So honestly, I compared it earlier against an SSL compressor, and this compressor is doing almost the same thing like an SSL compressor would do. So that's a really good piece of software. Then I used the reverb on the acoustic guitar as well, because I wanted to try it. So let's take a listen to the acoustic guitar with the reverb. So the reverb is a very nice plugin as well. You have to be very careful with the wet control, because normally I would use it as an sound effect on an aux return, but I used it as an insert to make it easier to show it to you here. But if you're using it as an insert, this reverb really jumps pretty much in your face, even with very conservative settings here. So you really have to check them out and see, because if I put it up here, like 25%, which I would normally use with reverb plugin as an insert, you're gonna hear that it's way too much reverb on the guitar. So it is very dense and very in your face, but it's a good reverb. It's a very good algorithmic reverb, and it's included in the bundle, so why not use it? Then I used the lead guitar. Well, that's interesting. On the lead guitar, I used the compressor, the equalizer, and the time machine, which is some kind of a, I don't know, weird effect that simulates a DDA conversion, if I got it right from the website. So it has some interesting effects, like on the phone and all that stuff. So you just pull through it and listen to it. But what I really liked was the analog saturation, because that really did fit to the lead guitar here very, very good. First I'm going to play you the lead guitar without the effects, without all effects. That's the echo. Okay. So this is the lead guitar in its dry recording. So that's already a pretty good lead guitar, and now we're gonna take a listen at all the plugins activated. I have the compressor, which I set for pretty normal electric guitar treatment. I did a little bit of work on the EQ, and then I had the time machine, and the last thing I inserted is just a little bit of a delay from super deaf from waves. So let's listen to the guitar now. So I think it does a pretty good job, and I'm gonna bypass the Time Machine plugin and play it again, and then activate it so you can see what it's doing. It's very subtle, but I think it's a pretty good effect. Let's listen to it. So it roughens up the guitar a little bit, mixing it a little bit more edgy. I really like that. I think I'm going to use it in the future for such occasions. Okay, what I wanted to try the plugins as well is on the vocals. So on the vocals, let's see what I have here. Here I have the gate, which is a pretty standard gate, nothing special, you know, like all gates, you have the same controls: high pass, frequency, low pass, filter, detection, time, threshold, attack, hold, release, and close again. Then you have the de-esser, which I have to say is a very good de-esser. Then you have fix, which is a dynamic equalizer plugin. It's really complex. I looked over it pretty fast, so I really don't know what this plugin is doing, but I like it. I like the way it's working, and I like the way it sounds. So really good plugin, and I use the reverb again. Okay, so let's listen to the vocals without any plugins activated.
I'll be crying, oh baby. Say what, say what, say what, say what. Hold on, be strong.
Okay, now let's put all plugins in the chain and play it again.
I'll be crying, oh baby. Say what, say what, say what, say what. Hold on, be strong.
So the plugins do a pretty good job on the vocals. And especially the fix plugin here is something I'm really curious about, because it's a little bit complicated, and I think I have to study the manual again, but it makes the vocals sound a little bit more in your face. They sound a little bit warmer, so that's a great plugin. I'm really gonna have to see how it works in details, but I'm sure I'm gonna use it in the future. And the reverb as well, useful on vocals. You see, I'm just having here a 1.5% setting, so a very dense reverb. What else is in the package? Well, we are having the Real Bus plugin, which is a tape emulation, and I'm gonna play you the whole mix. I'm gonna unmute all that here with the Real Bus off, and then I'm gonna put it on, and you hear the difference between the dry version and the version with the tape emulation on. So let's listen to the raw version first. So I think it does a pretty good job for a tape emulation that is included in such a plugin. Yeah, it sounds great. It sounds really good. We have the bus compressor, which I set to the normal settings I use on the SSL console. So I have an attack of 3 milliseconds, auto release. I have the makeup of 1.5 dB, a ratio of 4, and I set the threshold so that I'm just kissing it a little bit. So let's listen to the bus compressor. But first I'm going to take it off, play a little bit of the song, and then activate the bus compressor so that you can hear what it's doing. So it glues the mix together nicely, and it's doing almost the same as the SSL compressor on a console or a compressor from a SSL bundle like from Waves or Universal Audio. The only thing that's missing is the character. But it's a very good plugin. And then we have the Brickwell Limiter Barricade, which I think I used a preset here. Yeah, I used a clean CD master and drove up the input gain a little bit, and let's listen to it. So when you put the limiter on, you immediately hear that the mix becomes more dense and more, well, radio ready. It just punches a little bit more. The other plugins in this bundle is a EBU compact and the EBU loudness meter. And that's the little brother of this one. So you have a lot of different meter modes. You have, you can switch here. I don't know, every meter mode in the world I think is in this plugin. And you have surround configuration, stereo or auto 2.0 or 5.1. Very useful. I've seen loudness meters that cost $100 or more, so that's included in this plugin bundle. And I'm gonna bypass this. You have Ison, which you can compare to the Focusrite VRAM box. So you have different programs here, like large studio, small studio, flat panel, small monitors, wide setup, and all that stuff, which emulates listening environments. It's not going to work here if I play it on YouTube because it's made for headphones, but I tried it on headphones and it sounds pretty good, and I think it's usable, especially when you think that the VRM box from Focusrite, which is a product I use really regularly, adds a lot of latency to the signal, and this one doesn't. So yeah, it's a great program, and you can change the monitors, you can change the speaker angle, the tweeter size, the distance, you have the room size, early reflection, diffusion, speaker level, and all that stuff. You can easily head size, ear sizes, you can emulate pretty much everything. And I listened to it. It's a really good plugin. I really like it. And I think it's a good alternative to such things like the Focusrite VRM box, or I think there's one other plugin that does the same from 112 dB or so. But again, it's included in this plugin bundle. So if you're new to mixing and still in search for a plugin bundle that offers you everything you need, from compressor to equalizer to reverb and gate and de-esser and limiter and all that stuff, I think that the Toneboosters plugin bundle is a really bargain because it doesn't cost a lot of money, and you get plugins which are in absolutely high quality and have a nice GUI. And honestly, I'm using a lot of high-end gear, a lot of high-end plugins, and they do sound very, very good. They really do sound very, very good, and I might say that especially the compressor and the equalizer are comparable to high-end solutions like the Waves SSL bundle, the Neve 88RS from Universal Audio. Yeah, you can compare them because they really do sound very good. Of course, there's not the character that you get with an SSL bundle or with the Neve bundle or the API Vision bundle or what else is there. But they do sound very good. They do their job, and they sound very transparency, very musical. So give them a try. You can download the demos on the website of Toneboosters and give a look to them. So that's it for today. See you next time. Bye.